told you already, we've spoken to members, we've also spoken to non-members. That is, those people that maybe were invited to the launch and didn't come along, or they did come to the launch and decided not to become members, because it's just as important to know what they think and why they haven't joined CSEC. Observation, well, Michael and I have been attending various meetings, and we have more training events that I know that we're going to be coming along to, and also looking at documents, reports and emails. John's been passing us piles and piles of reports by email, which is great. It all helps to put together a picture of how CSEC is going. Objective 2 is to explore risk competence, and John's actually mentioned a little bit about this already this morning. We're really interested in knowing how children actually acquire risk competence through practical safety education. And one of the ways we're going to do this is to do some case studies. We'd really like to look at some of those projects that you're doing and look at them in a little bit more depth. So we'd like to know sort of your aims, your methods, your outcomes, perhaps whether you've done any evaluations, any problems you've come across, or things that have worked well. We're hoping to do about 5 case studies, so it may be that some of you will be contacted by our team and ask you to take part in that. But that's, things that you have found have been good or bad. We can perhaps roll those out to another project, so it's really useful to us to talk to you about those. And also a literature review, which perhaps sounds a bit dry, a bit academic, but for us that's really useful. And it's not just literature review of published data. Even just doing a Google search for us on what's going on is really important to get a picture of what's going on at the moment. Objective 3, impact of CSEC on the provision of safety education, and this is a very key objective. We're interested in what is the existing provision of safety education and how does it change over the life of CSEC. And we aim to do this again by looking at the case studies, finding out what you're doing. We're also going to carry out a survey now and also later on as well to see how things have changed. Many of you, I'm hoping most of you, should have received a survey, a 2-page survey through the post. I think we sent out about 86, didn't we? And yesterday we got 36 back, so it's not bad. But we'd really like you all to send them back, because that's what's really going to give us the good information. And if you don't send it back, you won't get a reminder, so you might as well do the first one now. And if you haven't received one and you think you should, then can you just let us know today? Well, I'm hoping you all have. Impact of CSEC on determinants of injury prevention. This is objective 4. And we're interested in knowing what effect does safety education have on knowledge, skills and behaviour. And this is something that I'm sure you're all interested in as well. And again, we're going to use this, again, I'm talking about case studies. We want to look at maybe how you're assessing the effects of your safety education. How are you perhaps measuring changes in behaviour or skills? Maybe you're not doing that and you'd perhaps like to, and that's something that we can help on. And we're certainly having an evaluation workshop, aren't we, which we're going to be having some input to and certainly be attending. And again, it's from the survey and review of the literature will inform that objective. Objective 5, what is the long-term effect of CSEC? And really, this is what can CSEC contribute to reducing injury outcomes in the long term. And again, this is a very important objective. All the other methods that we're going to achieve the other objectives feed into this one. And in addition, we're going to talk to sort of experts in the field, although we like to consider ourselves experts, but there are other people sort of outside the evaluation team that we'd like to show our findings to and say, what do you think? And again, this is really important, because if we can show that CSEC is actually having a really positive influence, then there's more likely to be sustainability. Our final evaluation, which this often crops up in evaluations, is the economics of it. And we're going to have 2 parts to this. First of all, we're going to look at the cost of CSEC, and then we'd also like to do a cost evaluation for 5 practical safety education providers. Those might be the same people as the case studies, it might not, but again, we might be approaching you and asking you if we can have a look and see what's going on. And we're particularly interested in looking at the setup and running costs, But again, we may be able to find something that we can then pass on to other people which they can use and find useful. So progress, where are we at? Well, as I mentioned already, we've carried out some interviews of members and non-members and key personnel. Mike and I have already been attending meetings. We've carried out the literature review, and our first report came out on Friday. And it's just a 3-page report. This is just an interim report. There will be copies on, we'll put them on the back table, which you are free to take. Our findings generally from this is just sort of an overview really, is that we felt the CSEC was making a very satisfactory progress. Obviously a lot of time is spent in building up the coalition. It takes time to get process in place, staff in place, but we felt that satisfactory progress had been made, but that substantial progress had been made in information sharing and in coordinating a network. I mean, it's not an easy thing to set up. We had 7 recommendations. One of those is the engagement of young people. This is particularly important. We're really keen to have, I mean, NCP is a partner in this, in CSEC, but we did feel that the initiatives, the engagement of young people should be increased. It's working well in some places, but there's been less activity in others. Marketing strategy, we're keen that a marketing strategy should be developed which highlights the tangible and practical benefits of CSEC membership to non-members. I mean, the more people you can get as part of CSEC, the better, and we felt that that was something that could be worked on. Review of meetings, we're aware that time is a bit of a constraint for all of you. We did sort of get a feeling that maybe some of the meetings required quite a big time commitment from you. So we made a suggestion that the number and perhaps length of meetings should be reviewed. And also to review the communications to members. And that's really just the information that you get, that it's clear and concise and that it's useful to you. So, in the short term, our way forward is the survey of members. We really wish you to return your questionnaires. We're going to start doing the case studies soon, and we're going to decide who we're actually going to be talking to, and whether you'd be going to be approaching some of you and asking if you'd care to work with us. And also we're going to continue with our further observations. But not for now, thank you for your support so far, and please continue supporting us, because it is important that we have your participation in this evaluation, because then we can feed back to CSEC, and that's the way we can improve CSEC, so that it's meeting your needs if you tell us how you want things to be. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Thank you. I was going to say we have got time for questions.
I'm just going to chip on in. Obviously, you spoke to me about would it be okay to distribute their interim report, and I said yes, but it is a membership privilege. It's yours to take away, but you should see it as yours and not a general publication. I ask you to respect that. I think that's how all we agree, isn't it? Yeah. So we want to make things open and transparent. Where CSEC is seen is could improve. We want to know. We genuinely do. We want positive, constructive criticism from you. And I think that that's something that the evaluation team would also appreciate.
Yes, I echo your comments there. It's an internal report for members of CSEC. Our later reports, our final one, will be publishing them on the web, and they'll be available to anybody who wants to read them. But this is very much an internal report